Welcome to the final tutorial in the series. In this tutorial, we're going to be retrieving the user's current location. So we're going to be retrieving the user's location so that we can automatically display weather data from that location. Because recently we had to hard code it in here, but obviously we don't want the user to enter his or her own location just to display the data. As soon as they open the app, we want to display all the weather data of their current location. And the way we're going to get their current location is from an API called IPStack. So without further ado, head over to your browser, head over to this URL over here, ipstack.com/product, and select this plan over here. Fill out this form over here. It's really quick. And at the bottom here, you don't have to fill in your company details. And there you are. Once you've done that, you should see a page with your API key. Great, so once you're logged on, you should see a page something like this. Here is your API key. Just keep this whole page open. We're going to need our API key later on in the tutorial. Head over to this tab over here. It's the documentation for IPStack, the Python documentation. As always, I'll put the link in the description. So the first thing we need to do before we write any code is say pip install IPStack. So head over to your terminal and do just that. So mine's saying requirements already satisfied. I already downloaded this before this tutorial, but yours should be downloading a few things. Once that's done, you're going to want to say from IPStack import geolookup and paste it in over there. The next thing we're going to do is create a geolookup object. So before we do anything with this, we need to create an object. Oops. So paste this in the function over here. And over here, this is where your API key is going to go. So head back to this page over here and copy this API key. Paste it in there. Okay, so now that our geolookup object is created, now we can write some code. So one thing I forgot to do is say import requests, since we're going to be requesting data from an API, and we need to import JSON as the data is going to be in a JSON file. Once you've done that, head over back to the documentation. And over here, it says look up your own location, and that's exactly what we want. Since we want to get the user's location. So there, simple as that. That's basically all the code we need. But instead of printing the location, which is a dictionary containing a whole lot of data about the user's location, such as their country, their region name, their IP address, and a whole lot of other stuff. We obviously don't want to print this full dictionary, so while we don't want to print anything at all, we want to save a few items within this dictionary to variables. The first one is latitude. We're going to want to get that. Then we're also going to want to get longitude. Last thing we want to get is the region, which is basically just the province or the state, depending on where you live. So for the latitude, we're going to say location, which is this variable over here, square brackets, longitude. Sorry, latitude. For the longitude, exact same thing. Let's copy and paste this. except in square brackets, it's going to say longitude instead of latitude. So region, location, square brackets, region underscore name. There. So that's all. Let's head back down to this dictionary over here, and we're going to want to add region. So we just add in the variable so we can use it in our HTML page. So we got the latitude and longitude here, so let's add it in over here. Oops. So cut this, paste it down here, and we don't want it called Boston anymore, let's call it city. City. And then, so just wherever it says Boston, just change it to city, that's all. And then we're going to want to put the lat variable over there, and then the latitude variable, and then over here put in the longitude. Great. So that's all we really need to do. Let's just add one more thing to our HTML page, and then we should be good to go. So today.tempmax, that's what we want, but over here, instead of Boston, we're going to want the region. So just pass in region over there. One last thing that I forgot is to actually update it for the hourly weather. So our coordinates are over here, and they're still the Boston coordinates. But let's pass in latitude and the longitude, the coordinates that's the user's coordinates. That's what we're going to be adding in here. Once that's done, head over to your app and refresh. Run the server first. So once the server's running, then refresh your page, and we should see some new data. So great, everything's updated. Check, we got some weather here. Great, so just what we want. As you can see over here, the region name is updated and it's no longer Boston. So yeah, try that out for yourself, compare it to the weather in other weather sources, but yeah, mine's fairly accurate. Yeah, so just play around with that. So that's all for this series. I hope you found it helpful. Make sure you stick around for future projects that I'll be posting. Cheers.